Hello and welcome back to FGC's part two of the Halloweenie Goon Heist. I am here with the previous group that had participated in part one. We are going to pick up where we left off, and I'm going to ask the individuals here as to what they recall from last week. And I'm going to start down the list from the order of the um, basically the combat tracker. So, Havoc, what do you remember from last week?
Um, so we went to this orphanage to find out what's going on with missing children, and we ended up killing the headmistress, an innocent halfling, and now we're riding in a wagon to nowhere.
Yep. And how about you, Felicity?
Oh, I didn't know I was gonna be next. Was she innocent? Because I thought she was, having severed heads for dinner and kind of evil. She had that evil aura and tried to murder us, so we had to murder her before she murdered.
That was the
You know,
headmistress, not the halfling.
but the halfling knew, so she's kind of complicit in this.
Okay.
Oh, and there was a carriage that was waiting for us, or I don't know if it was waiting for us, but there was some strange carriage that was just hanging out. So we decided to jump on it and see where it took us.
All right. Sergeant, how about you?
After we dealt with the evil lady and shish kebabbed a small halfling, I got to play with a sweet, awesome little ring, which I still wish I had. Then, wait,
Come again?
they took away the ring from me. I'm very upset about that. And then they took my squire away to the, for some reason. I'm still upset about this.
Zayla, what do you remember?
Zayla remembers being really terrified of the patron lady who gave them the heads. Um, she's still trying to figure out exactly what the lady was after. Um, but aside from that, they have a lot of leads. They don't necessarily know how everything connects together, especially with the door situation and the Undermountain situation. But maybe this carriage is going to take them there. So who knows? She's just curious, taking lots of notes and trying to keep a level head.
And you, Brimir, what do you recall?
Yeah, pretty much that. And he keeps, Bramir is very, his mind keeps going back to this portal that's in the bottom of this stonecutter's place. That was something that we heard as well. The guards took the children, hopefully, to the church so that they could be exercised. I know Fang was going to accompany them to make sure they got there safely. And we were going to go see what um, this carriage is up to.
All right. That sounds about right. We left off on the streets of Waterdeep, right outside of the Starry Cradle Orphanage, and the party has approached a wagon that was sent to drop off some recently abducted children and people. And so I guess you guys had found that you guys had some bodies in there. One of them had passed or expired, and the others, you guys untied them and either you, I'm not sure if, I don't remember if you dropped them off here or if you sent them to the church. But I know that the town guards were going to take the young, I can't remember her name, Margot, to the priest to have her looked after and perhaps even exorcised from the magical influence of the ring and the evil that surrounds it. So, all of you had kind of claimed where you were going to sit in the wagon itself. and it looks to me like the wagon was sent here by somebody, and it's being drawn by 4 horses, and they're all a nice jet black color, and they are very well taken care of. So whoever owned this wagon was very, very wealthy, or they had just stolen a very nice looking setup. So a value on that horse and carriage would be over a couple grand just for the carriage alone. So it is very well manicured and taken care of. And even the interior, despite the grisly scene that you guys had witnessed when you opened up the doorway, it is very plush. It has a really deep burgundy red upholstery inside. There are some curtains. And I believe it was Kilgrave and the two. We have the Felicity and Zayla inside. And if I remember right, the priest was going to sit on the top or the back
I
of the.
thought Havoc was in
Kilgrave.
there with us too.
Kilgrave is on the top front.
Okay. And Havoc's in there with you guys. So that's cool. And Brymir, were you sitting outside or in the
Yeah,
back?
I'm on the back kind of luggage rack.
Okay. And what about you, Sergeant? Where did you want to sit? Because you're the last one in there, if I remember right. So
I
we're going
was
to
actually
start
going
off.
to get inside.
Okay, so we're going to start off the campaign or the adventure part 2 with Sergeant Knack basically stepping inside of the black carriage to be with the rest of the adventurers. One of the things that you get the feeling of, Knack, is that ring is still kind of bothering you a little bit. The idea that it's no longer in your possession. And you have this kind of overwhelming longing for it. And I'd like you to roll a wisdom save, please, in the dice tower. So you're looking around and you just keep checking your pockets and you're kind of holding up the carriage itself. And you notice that Fang, the large dire wolf that was brought by Kilgrave, is standing on the other side of the wagon ready to go. And he kind of looks at you and growls.
I'm sorry. I seem to have misplaced something. Have you guys seen a small ring?
Kilgrave checks the leather band he has it tied to on his across all the different knickknacks on the front of his armor. Nope, haven't seen it.
Do I notice him do the pat down?
Yeah. So the rest of you are like, come on, let's get this going.
Oh, excuse me. Let me board. Sorry about that. I'd probably get in. But also, if I noticed that he was patting himself down, looking at a leather strap.
As you
Oh,
enter the wagon, the color of the interior kind of reminds you of some of the visions in that really grisly looking photo that was in the girls' room inside of the orphanage. So you still have a mental imprint of what you saw in that photo. And you almost have a coppery kind of irony taste in your mouth. And before you realize it, you've bitten your tongue and the back of your mouth is bleeding a little bit.
take out my water skin and from my backpack as we're riding along. Take a drink and
Okay.
say something about needing to get to a tavern and have a different drink. My head is hurting a bit.
Any of the rest of you have anything to say while we're traveling through? You notice that the wagon is pulled away from the orphanage, and it's heading north along the main tradeway, or sometimes it's referred to as just the way by the denizens of Waterdeep.
What direction are we going?
You're going northwest for the most part. You pass by several known landmarks, including the large statues that exist in the middle of Waterdeep. Um, the whole city seems to be alive. There's lights and all kinds of activity going on as everybody is preparing for a parade that is supposed to happen early the next day. They're going to be celebrating High Harvest Tide from now till the rest of the week. So it's actually a shame that all of you have to be involved with this particular case, because it would be a very fun time for you guys to be out and about doing your own thing. However, duty and the current circumstances have made this kind of a priority over celebratory activities.
Kilgrave is going to take, since I'm up at the top, I'll take kind of like the pommel of my sword and bang 3 times on the carriage and say back, listen, I'm missing good drinking and dancing and other things that come along with that time to do this bullshit. So keep your eyes on a lookout and your heads on a swivel. Stay frosty.
All right. Anybody have anything to say on that? All right.
I agree with him. I'm not cold either.
Kilgrave just puts a hand to his helmet.
All right. So after maybe about a half an hour, the wagon comes to a stop. And in front of you is a large, looks like an estate. It is in the very northeast corner, or the northwest corner of Waterdeep. And this is a fairly wealthy, well-to-do neighborhood. The place where it had stopped is in front of a guarded, or not a garden, but a garden gate, like a gateway type entrance with wrought iron fence and really big stone buttresses on each connection point. There are 2 large gargoyles standing on top of uh, the brick or the stonework, and back behind these kind of these walls is this large mansion. It looks like it has been well curated. There is a garden full of red roses, and it's pretty amazing that they are still in full bloom so late in the summer or early fall. And another thing is that the walkway is very well manicured with all varieties of beautiful flowers. And the time is pretty late in the evening, so I'm going to reflect that with a little bit of mood lighting. As you guys come to the stop, the horses kind of rest at ease. And if you look over or out the window or on the other side of the carriage, you notice that Fang is kind of sniffing around the street. And he gives you an indication, Kilgrave, that he's kind of getting a little bit touchy. Like maybe you're on the trail, or maybe he's trying to tell you something.
Alright. I'm gonna hop down off the carriage, and when everyone comes out, Kilgrave is basically gonna take a knee so we can start to plan. Listen, guys, Fang's got the scent. We need to be careful here. I hate that everything bad in the city always comes from money. It makes those of us with higher blood look bad. But anyway, who wants to scout out a little bit and see if there's anybody guarding this shit shack of a mansion?
I'm willing.
So do you exit the carriage?
I do.
Okay. So as you exit the carriage, you guys hear a large commotion happening. It pretty much sounds like a scuffle or some sort of banging around beyond the doors. The doorways are decorated with these very elaborate looking door knockers. They're made of wrought iron kind of look steel. They're very polished and they look like they have standed the test of time. They're not rusty or anything like that. And it looks like whoever keeps this place up keeps the door and the items in here very well oiled and cleaned. So there's no signs of rust or anything around the doorways. And even the fence has a very manicured look, almost like brand new. So whoever takes care of this place does a very meticulous job.
Now, is this like a wrought iron fence, or is it more of a wall? And how tall?
The wall is about 20 feet tall. It's wrought iron, but from joist to joist, it is stonework. And on top of the stonework are these gargoyle-looking things, statuettes. And the same looking gargoyle entryway has on the door knockers kind of has that same look, but it's like the door knockers are the rings to the noses of the creatures that are depicted.
I say we get Havoc on top of this wall so you can get a look out and see what this scuffle is on the other side.
Okay.
And I'll go kind of put my back to the wall, put my hand out, how both my hands together to give him a boost up. Tie a rope around your waist so that you can tie it up at the top and we can climb up over if we need.
So he's standing in front of the wall, like to give me a boost?
Yeah.
How high is it?
About 20 feet up.
Alright, so I'm gonna step back and take a run at him and use him as a springboard. See how high I can.
Okay, Havoc, apply the help action to, or excuse me, Kilgrave, apply the help action to Havoc if you wish.
All right.
And Havoc, you just need to make like an athletics or acrobatics check to get over that wall. Or to at least get up on it. You basically nearly clear the wall. You just jump up and you almost don't even need to do anything else. And you actually jump up as if you meant to do so and just land on both feet.
Aha!
So you did this. You guys see Havoc's character run and leap in one single bound and just kind of do a cartwheel and land right on top of the wall on both feet.
What do you see up there?
He hasn't told me yet.
See
What do I see up here?
See a large rose garden, and you notice there's a lot of toys and woodwork items laying around in the yard. And it looks like the grass hasn't been cut in a few days, but it's very well manicured. There's some stonework going into a pathway that leads up to the front doors, and you can also see those big, large iron or steel door knockers that look a lot like the statuettes that are along the buttresses that you have just climbed.
Is there an easy way to get down to them?
You could climb fairly simply. I think just a matter of a strength check, you can actually probably just drop yourself down.
Tie that rope off to one of those gargoyles so we can climb up.
So you want to go over the wall rather than have me open the door?
What about this scuffle we hear? Does he see anything?
Mm-mm. He just hears banging and some kind of noise going on inside of the house. And occasionally you guys see a flicker of light, whereas most of the house is darkened.
All right, so I'm gonna go down on the inside as quick as possible and then open the door.
Okay. So you run up to the door, and you notice that Sergeant Knack was going to say something to you, but you kind of flitted away before he could make a suggestion to you. You get up to the doorway. You try it. It is locked.
Is there a lock that I could see? I will try to unlock it.
It doesn't look like a very typical lock, but go ahead and try to test the lock, and go ahead and make a perception check in the dice tower, please. From what you can tell, it looks like a large tumbler lock, and it has two different keys that open the door. It's like a bar tumbler type mechanism. So you know it's going to be difficult, in other words.
All right, I'll give it a whirl.
Okay. With a couple clicks and some very dexterous movement and a couple of your tools and implements, you're able to unlock the first part of the lock, which basically keeps the bar movement from breaking one way or the other. So you're going to have to make another check to see if you can get through the second part of the door mechanism.
Okay.
As you're grinding and trying to move the mechanism, your pick breaks, and the rest of you that are outside or looking at this hear this loud, audible snap. So you
Oops.
just broke your pick.
I'm going.
Part.
Is there any trees nearby or anything?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna set my block and tackle up and just force the door open.
Okay. So while he's setting up the block and tackle, go ahead and roll a 6-sided dice in the chat there, Kilgrave. It's gonna take you, about 5 rounds to get all that set up and start cramping and clamping on it. Anybody else have any ideas? The rest of you are standing either on the wagon or the carriage, or still sitting inside. And you guys can see your allies out there trying to find a way into this place. The gate is still locked, but there is a rope.
Hey, Havoc, can I borrow that crowbar? Could you slide it through the gate?
Either that or under.
I have a crowbar.
Can I try to do a strength check to stick it in there and twist the lock?
You're talking about the gate or the door?
To just like break the door open.
Okay. So you kind of wedge it in between both the doorways because it's a big, large double door, and you start hammering on it. Let's make a strength check after you reef on it in the dice tower, please.
Yeah, I think the crowbar gives you advantage.
All right. So after about a minute of trying to force this, with the help of the beginnings of Kilgrave's block and tackle, you guys are able to snap the bar that had caused Havoc's character trouble and actually had him break his pick set.
Here you go, Havoc. Sorry about that.
It happens.
Well, he was fortunate to get the first part of it unlocked. Otherwise, that bar wouldn't move. It wouldn't even budge. And then with you guys forcing it open, it made it a little bit easier to gain access into this big mansion-looking place.
So is the door open now?
Yes. You see a single point of light, which is like a candle sitting on a table. And you have this large entryway. It's like I guess you would call it like a guest chamber. And as you step in, all of you need to make a perception check. That would be Sergeant, Kilgrave, and Havoc. The rest of you have not claimed your intentions.
So as I walk in, I'm going to my armor is gonna just freeze over as I cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Okay. So as you guys look around, you notice that the decor of the inside kind of melds into the background, and for some strange reason, the inside of this place is not what it appears. So it is almost as if an illusion of some sort had been cast in this area. And Kilgrave and Havoc, you guys notice that there is a large, I want to say a portal looking thing, or a hole, or some sort of strange entryway. And the rest of the house is pretty much an illusion, except for the outside walls.
I am seeing it. Get the rest of them in here quickly.
Yeah, Bramir is going to exit the wagon and head inside.
All right. You're going to have to climb the wall, or somebody's going to have to unlock the gate.
Wait, I thought we unlocked the gate.
You unlock the door.
How do we get in?
Climb the wall, right?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's a rope though for climbing the wall.
You guys can use the rope.
Okay, then yeah, that's what Bramir's going to do is go
Okay.
over the wall.
Okay. You guys see every now and then a flash of light come from that portal way. And Vermeer, you notice that this place has the reek of evil. It gives you the creeps. And Kilgrave, you're kind of getting that same sense as well.
Yeah. I don't like it here, and I don't like that thing as he ports to the portal.
Sarge, to you, it looks like a really beautiful mansion with a couch and a bunch of other furniture that has been decorated from all over the realms. And you have no idea what they're responding to at the moment.
Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? This place looks great.
Bramir, I need you to make a perception check as you approach the doorway.
I'm gonna swing my sword around in the open area, hopefully to try to make it pass through the illusion.
Yeah, Bramir, you notice that this area is kind of false looking. There's a bunch of illusionary type walls, and there's this big large opening in the floor area, and it's all just one big illusion to you. And for you, Sarge, it's very strange. You notice the path of the sword going through the walls and the furniture.
Look alive, guys. There's illusionary magic at work. I sense a lot of evil.
I do as well.
Could I try casting Dispel Magic to get rid of the illusion effect temporarily?
Sure.
Is it above? Is it 4th level or higher for the illusion?
Yes.
Okay, then I have to do a
Charisma.
charisma DC check of 10 plus the spell's level. So
Okay.
I guess you'll just tell me if I.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your check.
Oh
All
no.
right. So you basically you start to cast your spell, and as you complete it, the illusionary look of the mansion and even the outside a little bit kind of turns into this old rundown looking shack. And inside here is this large hole that looks like it was either bore or worked into the ground inside of this structure. And actually, it almost looks like it may have been a tower of some sort, the foundation.
How far away are we from this portal? Is it like into the ground,
Yes.
or is it like a magical?
Yeah, it's into the ground, but it also looks magical as well. It kind of has a glowing arc inside of it, and there's sparks and kind of like a magical essence kind of dancing around the edge of it. So imagine a large 50-foot room, and in the very center, almost to the diameter, there is a large hole in the ground. And there is absolutely nothing else in this mansion. Zayla's spell had dispelled away the illusion. It kind of startles you, Sergeant.
Where's the sorceress? We need her to look at this.
Oh, I'm right here.
Yep, she's the last on the scene. Felicity, go ahead and roll a perception, please, in the dice tower. Yeah, you notice that this large portal is sitting there, and it has a radiation of magic that you have not seen or heard of in a long time. It kind of gives you the willies magically.
Like it's evil, demonic, or like this is gonna hurt us if we go through it.
It just seems very mysterious to you. It kind of gives you that macabre, magical mystery type feel to it.
So it was created using dark magic then.
Yes. But you also get the feeling that the magic was ancient and fairly old.
So old dark magic. This
Two
portal doesn't.
more.
I'm sorry, what?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that this portal is definitely something out of my realm of expertise. It's too old for me to recognize, and it gives off a feeling of evil intent.
Well, you remember what the door said. There are two more still hidden in Undermountain. It's probably where this pit goes. So, who's first?
I'll go sit on the couch.
You walk over and you go to sit down, and you end up sitting on the edge of the portal, and you fall down backwards.
Oh no!
No chair
Okay.
there, but you do fall upon a book. So your armored butt basically falls down on a hard, kind of a leather-bound book. Most of you didn't see it there because it was kind of shaded.
Oh, what is this? I'd pick it up and look at it.
It has some ancient, kind of magical-looking tome writings on it, so it looks like it's some kind of script, like a magical script or something. You want to roll an Arcana check, please, in the dice tower? Well, it's definitely some sort of magical book of some sort. You notice that the magic was probably written a long time ago, and the last time you've seen something like this was when you were training early on in your days with your affiliated group for your faction.
Ah, This looks like something one of those dusty old mages would be looking at. Any of you guys be interested in it?
Not a fan of books. Give it to one of the ladies.
I'll pass. I'm not one of those aged wizards that like to keep their nose in the book all the time.
I technically can't really use this, but why not? Who knows? Maybe it'll solve a mystery one day. And they'll toss it in a rag.
Okay.
I'll trade you for a crowbar.
What? What do I need a crowbar for? Wait, you want the book?
No, I was just saying I need a crowbar. I figured one of you ladies might have a crowbar and I could use that over this book.
Oh, here, take it. Take mine. I do not need it, nor do I want it, and it's just weighing me down.
Thank you, lady.
And I'll throw that in the party sheet.
So if you look down the portal, what can you see with dark vision?
Pretty much just a dark shaft. It really looks like it's bottomless. And who is it that took the book?
Salith.
Okay. So from your backpack, you hear this muffled, "Seek me at Aquiticon." And it kind of startles you guys.
You guys, I think it's talking.
I still
Like-
have the crowbar out, right? I could make it stop.
Like the door?
Ooh,
Make
that's
a perception,
interesting
guys.
point.
But yeah, it kind of does sound like the door.
What's a critical?
Yeah, it sounds exactly like something the door had said earlier. Now, it didn't say the exact same words, but it did have that same tone.
Open the book.
She'd have to get it out of her backpack.
Yeah, she'll pull it out.
Okay. As you pull it out, it is already open, and inside are these magical sigil-looking things that are kind of squirming and dancing around. And again, it says, "Seek me at Aquiticon."
What is it? What's a quit? And she's like tries saying it for like a good 2 minutes or until anybody interrupts.
Yeah.
Somebody have a, let's see. Kilgrave, do you have a history?
Yes.
Well, you're kind of a native here, and so is Felicity. So either of you or anyone who's claimed to be a native of this region, go ahead and roll a history check. And it looks like Kilgrave, you do remember something strange about that, what you call it, the Aquiticon story. It jogs your memory about some lore that you had studied along with your professional tutor. And it's an old story that had to do with the well-renowned Hallister Blackcloak. And the year was 1369 DR. It was a time when Hallister had been kidnapped.
I think my tutor, J.C. Penney, told me all about this Alistair Blackcloak half off that they got kidnapped. It was a long time ago, like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of.
Quidicon was something that had been mentioned in the story. It appeared that a couple strange individuals had used very, very powerful magic. They used it to basically summon the Mad Mage, and basically they bound him so that they could take over a part of Undermountain. So they were up to something at one point in the past.
More wizard bullshit.
May Bart roll a deception check?
Sure. All right.
He would say something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, I know about Aquiticon. Yeah, it's right through this portal. It's a straight shot. Been there dozens of times."
The rest of you roll a perception or excuse me, insight check. At least the ones that were listening. Most of you know he must be BSing.
Does Zayla realize that?
Yes.
She's gonna look at him like, sure you do. You totally look like you've been there so many times. I mean, just look at you. You look like you're just filled to the brim with magical goodness. And she's just like giving him this look like she knows he's totally full of shit.
Taking it all in, strike a heroic pose. Oh, time to go in the portal?
Yes, go, Bart. And I put a foot to ass and push.
Again, the book says, "Seek me at Aquiticon." Shut up,
So,
book. We're going down.
yeah, Vermeer's going to kind of give him see Havoc doing the rope deal and kind of give him a nod and smile, and he's going to head towards him to follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Kilgrave's got his sword and shield out and is gonna hop in after him.
You guys are jumping in or taking the rope.
Or
There's
taking
no.
what?
Are you gonna take a rope or are you guys gonna jump in?
Yeah, he tied a rope to something and then around himself, I think.
Okay.
I freely fell.
Okay. So some of you have jumped into this portal, and if you noticed, after a couple seconds, there was a large flash. So it's similar to what you had seen from the outside of the mansion. So something may or may not have gone through the portal.
Whatever happened to that ruckus we heard earlier?
There was no indication as to what that may have been. But one of the things you did remember is when the notorious Black Cloak Hallister, when he was captured, since he was the one that basically um, kept things somewhat in order in Undermountain, some of the madness and the craziness was allowed to escape during his short time of captivity.
So I'll dismiss Fang while we're going through the portal and then bring him back once we're on the other.
Okay.
So this portal, when you get through it, is there like a drop or anything, or is it just you kind of land on your feet?
You won't know until you step through. It's kind of
Okay.
like a blind jump or a blind climb, I guess.
I'll go ahead and jump.
Okay. The rest of you?
Yeah, I'm already in there.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah, me
went
too.
in
I took the rope with Havoc.
Okay. All right. So at that moment, all of you need to roll a perception in the dice tower. Okay, whether you jumped in, climbed in, or just kind of pushed off the edge of the portal, you all felt the sensation of falling for a few seconds, and then you saw a flash of light, and you got this weird, strange, dizzy feeling, as if you were kind of changing your shape temporarily. And as you emerge on the other side, you end up in a dark and unlit chamber that is pretty much a worked stone environment. And the rest of you that had come through the portal all kind of fallen into the same area. You don't really fall like from 20 feet or something like that. You just kind of end up on your you're prone. You're not knocked down necessarily, but you end up with whatever position you were when you entered the portal. And you're standing on solid ground now. And if you look up, you don't see anything but blackness. And I'm going to share a pretty large map with you guys. So I'm going to give you guys a few moments to size it.
After you hear Kilgrave grumble, you're going to hear him say, "Torches."
That's not the map. Oh, there's the map.
Yeah, close that. That's story stuff.
Yep. Okay.
Then I'll bring Fang back out.
Okay. So I'm going to put you guys on the map. Okay. You guys are in a small little cell-like thing, and the walls are made of brick, and they are all pretty much full of blood, and all over the floor as well. And you can smell the smell of iron all about you, and a really rotten, foul smell. And the air is very humid and very, very smelly and unpleasant. And all of you kind of get this feeling like, what the hell is this? And Fang is pretty much in the room with you guys, pretty much taking up half the room.
Okay, so we're behind bars, basically.
Yep.
Block and tackle.
I'm just going to shrink his token for now.
Yeah. Well, if we were all compacted like that, I wouldn't summon him yet, so we'll say I'll summon him afterward.
Okay. So I'll take this off.
Set him up there out of the way.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
any torchlight or dark vision gives you through to your northwest. Those are all bars, but there is a sliver of kind of like a deep, kind of gurgling, low, dark feeling of sound beyond. And this place is very strange and alien to you guys. You've never been in anything like this. And you feel really claustrophobic and very dreadful in this small space. There's no visible doors. There's all this crazy, how would I say, handprints and stuff all over the walls. It's full of blood. It looked like whoever was here was trying to scrape their way out.
Alright, so we still have our backpack and everything.
Yep. You guys have all your gear.
So I'm going to take the block and tackle and try to wrap it around 2 bars and bend them into try to snap them.
Okay. So the bars feel fairly solid. You are able to move them a little, but they are very tough. Go ahead and roll a strength check. And for as far as spacing goes, there's probably only maybe a foot at the most in between them. And you notice that they move up and down like a mouth. There is a mechanism somewhere you can hear in the walls. And what's happening is these things are opening and closing at a certain point. And the opening is only about maybe a foot and a half wide when it takes place. And this is something you guys notice as you are examining the bars and trying to pry your way out.
I'm gonna face step on the other side of the bars.
You're gonna what?
Use my face step so I can get on the other side of the bars because I can
Okay.
move up to 30 feet.
Okay. So this is what you see through the bars. So you see this really icky, slimy creature. And Felicity, you're probably about, I don't know, 5 or 10 feet away from this thing. The rest of you see that large gap in the bar, and what happens is it keeps opening and closing like a mouth.
So we just dive through it.
I think that Havoc might be able to squeeze through it, but the rest of you might have some difficulty with that. And Felicity, you're kind of wishing you hadn't face stepped through the bars, because now you have this strange looking creature bearing down on you.
What does the wall look like? If I would,
Looks like stonework.
All right, so I'm going to look around to see if there's some kind of control mechanism.
Okay. All right. So you're looking through the stonework. Roll a perception. You've done that, and it looks like there is nothing visible other than the fact that the gear work appears to be countersunk and built into the walls.
Is the gearwork exposed?
A little bit.
Will when the gate when it opens to its fullest, I'll slam
If you hand me-
my crowbar into the gears.
Okay.
Are the gears on the inside or outside of the bars?
They're on the outside, built into the walls.
So you
Oh.
wouldn't be able to, but if you hand me the crowbar, I could.
Yep.
Yep, passing it on.
Okay.
On this wall, or what wall is it at?
Both walls, the one that you're next to, and also the other wall to the northeast.
Okay. So at this wall, he's going to hand me the crowbar through the bars.
Yep.
And when it's at its widest, that's when I'll just jam it in.
Okay. So go ahead and make a dexterity check in the dice tower, please. All right. So after a few seconds, you just grab it and chuck it in there, and the gears come to a grinding halt right at the last second, just allowing enough room for possibly Havoc and Zayla to get through. The rest of you will be very hard pressed to get through that small opening. And
Take off your armor.
Yep. And what you're noticing is that whatever that creature was is still out there lurking around. And you hear this strange laughter and all these different voices talking. And it's getting closer and closer to you.
Well, I'm gonna wait for other people to join me before I do anything else.
Okay. So, let's see. Let's roll initiatives, folks, in the dice tower, or not the dice tower, but in the chat. Okay. So, Brymir, you get to go first. You saw this ugly-looking creature in the outside of the gateway where Felicity is, and it kind of slithered by, and then she all of a sudden appeared on the other side, chucked a crowbar into this mechanism that's controlling these gates to go up and down, and there's just enough clearance for a small person, to get through.
So am I not able to fit at this point? Can I try to like push on the bars to see if it can widen to allow me to fit through a little more?
Sure, make a strength check in the dice tower. All right, so you kind of try to force the bars open, and basically all it does is it ends up closing another inch. So basically that crowbar is just holding to keep it from shutting.
Okay, guys, it looks like these bars aren't going to open up any further. So I'm not sure how we're going. Can we maybe, Kilgrave, can you maybe block and tackle? Is there a way for you to hook that up to maybe force these down a little further?
Yeah, if they're opening, if they have a horizontal opening, I should be able to. I've already got it hooked to the bars.
Okay. So, Sergeant, what are you going to do? It's your turn. Yep. Knack.
And then stick my foot on the bottom fence, put my hands on the top, tell him to grab the same, and let's do it together as a team this time.
Okay. So go ahead and make a strength check in the dice tower. Okay. So you have it held fast. All right, Kilgrave, you're hooked up the block and tackle. Now what are you doing?
Now with him, I'm going to use it. I'm going to start twisting it to start trying to pry it open.
Okay. Havoc, what are you doing?
I jumped through.
Okay. Make a dexterity check. I may have missed it. Or an athletics check.
Can it be acrobatics?
Sure. You jump through there no problem, as if you just like did the high jump. So you can place yourself on any one of the squares adjacent to Felicity. All right, good show, man. All right, Felicity, you have another action.
Well, I don't see those things around me anywhere, do I?
No, but you hear them. You know they're out there, and they're getting closer.
Okay, with my dark vision, am I able to see further than
Mhm.
what's visible right now? Can you show
Yep.
me what's going on?
Yep. Let's see. All right, you see this really nasty looking slimy creatures heading your guys' direction. And you see this large, I guess you would call it a pillar that is shooting up from the edge of this large well. Very similar to what you guys had jumped through earlier. And it has a very nasty looking iron rusty chain hanging down into it. And there are streams of blood kind of falling into this large pit. And all the while, these things are going, making these very crazy sounds.
All right, so I'm just going to take that little step so I get clear view of the creature, and I'm just going to hit him with the frostbite.
Okay. Ew. You basically tag this creature with a really strange sense of energy and power that comes from you. It almost feels like you didn't cast it, but you actually did. And this stream of frost just nails this ugly looking creature just straight across its front side. Now you can't tell what the head or the mouth or whatever, but it has these strange arms and appendages coming out from it in all different directions. So you have movement, or do you have any bonus actions you'd like to use?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So go ahead and pass your turn. Zayla.
All right. She's going to try to get through the fence as well.
Okay. So go ahead and make either a athletics check or a strength check to kind of pull yourself up and through this thing.
Can I do acrobatics?
Sure.
Thanks.
So you kind of do something similar to Havoc. Where would you like to go? Other than his square, you can put yourself on any of the other squares.
There, I guess, to cover the bases.
Okay. You can take any bonus actions you like, or you can finish your movement. You still have about 15 feet.
Since Premier is the next one out, she's gonna give him some bardic inspiration.
Okay. Very cool. Okay. Rymir?
Okay, so is this opened up enough I can get through at this point?
You can give it a shot. So you're gonna move and make another check of some sort.
Okay.
So you're basically gonna have to pull yourself up and through the bars.
Okay. I want to use the bardic inspiration on this.
Okay.
So
You already have the effect on you. All right. So you were able to, since you got to see how the others did it, you're able to move yourself up and out. Did you still want to move next to Zayla?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And is that my action?
Pretty much. You can finish your movement, or if you can do any bonus actions, that would be the thing.
All right.
All right, Knack. It's on you, man.
Do I see any difference with me holding the bars?
Yes. And you're thinking if everyone would have listened to you, probably would have got out. But now you're going to have to rely on either Kilgrave or your own strength to kind of pull you through this. And you can still hear that crowbar thing grinding in the gears.
Try to maintain, get a better grip, give it another heave until Kilgrave to hurry up and get through. Hold it on the other side.
Okay. All right. So you're holding it fast. You've actually reversed some of the loss from when Vermeer first tried to yank on it. All right. So this thing comes up and it looks very excited. It moves into your guys' vision, or at least most of you, and it looks like it wants to make a meal out of some of you. Okay. So all right. So anybody that's in that area of effect, this would be considered difficult terrain. And this thing is gibbering like a crazy madman. And you can see all these different mouths and different eyeballs and lips and everything else kind of forming on the outside of this creature. You guys you're going to make a saving throw, and I'll take care of that. And depending on what happens, that will be what the reaction is from this creature.
Havoc, Vermeer, and Zila get a +3 from my my aura, my paladin aura of protection.
Okay. So did you apply that to him already?
I can give it to him, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So as this thing gets closer, it's whatever it's doing at this speech or whatever is really strange, and it's kind of driving you guys insane. So it looks like, Zayla, it has affected you. So this thing is giving you the creeps. It has this very strange, incoherent babble. And it's very, very strange and odd. Kind of gives you like the chills. You cannot take any reactions or anything until your next turn. So basically, you are almost like immobile.
Okay.
And that's its turn.
Is that the same for Felicity?
No. Oh, did she fail too?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you guys are both affected by this thing. So this creature from over here it slithers its way towards Felicity, and it has this really strange blob of spittle or whatever, and it makes an attack at Felicity. So you guys see this big blob of I don't know, blood and acid and pus. And it's really nasty. Oh crap! I didn't know she wasn't on the table.
Who?
Felicity got disconnected.
Oh,
Are you with us, Felicity?
there she goes. She'll be back.
Okay.
Probably just had a hiccup.
All right. So while we're waiting for her to connect, let's take a couple-minute break.
All right.
So stay tuned, everyone. We're waiting for Fury to reconnect to the table. So we're going to take a 2-minute break. And when we come back, we will continue with this battle with these strange, slimy creatures. So while we're waiting for Fury to come back, we are going to announce a winner of a prize giveaway in our FTC community. So if you are a part of Fantasy Grounds College and you want to win a free prize, just go ahead and join our Discord. And Shell is in the Discord now with the links. And after the show, we'll do a 1D100 roll off and we will see who will be eligible for the prize. And then after the stream, I'm going to invite you guys to go over to Rob's Discord and join him on a Saturday roundtable show. If you're up to it, if you have time, you're not too tired, head on over to Rob's table and visit and BS with him. And he will also be streaming that live on Twitch later tonight. And that'll be in a couple hours from now. All right, Fury, you made it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. So I just sent everyone on a quick, 2 minute break.
I put a little checkbox if you're back in chat.
Load up right now.
It's okay, we still got 2 people AFK.
Okay. Hey, Shell. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. Lady Shell has been gracious enough to moderate the chat for us, so I appreciate that, Lady Shell. And for the rest of you, I'm glad you're able to make it. This is part 2 of supposed to be a 1-shot, ended up being a 2-shot. So thank you guys for showing.
So, Layron, can you clarify for them how we're going to do the drawing?
Yep, we're going to do it in the chat, in the live FGC chat. We have a dice roller, and anyone who's present at the time, except for like staff, will be able to roll a D20 or a D100, and whoever wins that, or the highest or the lowest roll, will decide then wins the prize.
So, yeah, if Shell could just give them the Discord link in the stream. I can't see chat right.
Yeah. So if you're not already in FGC, you can join the FGC link, and we'll be giving out the prize after the conclusion of this game. And the prize is going to be a Fantasy Grounds related object or product. It doesn't have to be Dungeons and Dragons, but it does have to go through the Fantasy Grounds store. And I will not be regifting it. So make sure it's something you can use or something that you want if you enter. All right. Are we almost ready? Everybody back yet?
I think everybody but Bunny.
Okay.
We could probably go ahead and get started since it's not our turn.
All right. All right. So we're going to continue. All right. We left off. The Givering Mouther was going to attack Felicity with its blinding spittle. And she was able to avoid by basically being at the right place at the right time. So she is not prone, but she's not able to take any actions. So just by the grace of her movement, she's able to avoid the attack. So very good. Lucky. All right, Kilgrave.
All
You
right,
got an
so
opening.
yeah, my bonus action, I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on myself, and then I'm gonna jump through the bars.
Okay. So if you want to do an acrobatics check, go ahead.
I was gonna like pull myself through with my strength if I can.
Okay. All right. All right, all right. So you got a spot right there next to Felicity. That's open.
I was gonna see if I could come here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is that a available spot?
Sure.
All right.
In that zone, that is considered rough terrain.
Yeah.
So that only applies to you and Havoc right now. All right, Havoc.
All right, so I think I'm gonna hit this one that we're standing next to, and then try. Actually, no. Kill. You got.
Go for it.
I see the Felicity is like incapacitated,
Yep.
so I'm gonna move in front of her.
Okay.
I'm just gonna basically keep this thing entertained while dodging its attacks.
Right. You moved away from the other as you pass through. So the one behind you.
Yeah. So I'll use the cunning action to disengage from him to get to here.
Okay.
And then my action will be to dodge the number 2's incoming attack.
Okay. Cool.
Oh shit! Sorry about
Oh, I have it twice. Hold on.
that. I got it.
All right.
And I will end my turn there.
Okay.
Yelling obscenities at this ugly, foul creature.
Okay. Felicity. So you're
So what
able
if
to react. And you notice this big old blob of this thing hawked a big old loogie at you. And it missed you. And
okay,
Havoc.
but I have something else going on, right? Because of the first one.
Mm-hmm. You were just not able to do anything else after that. So you should be fine now.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. I just want to double check on this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to double check that. All right, so I will go ahead and do a poison spray at gibbering mouth number. Actually, no. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some frostbite at gibbering mouth number 2.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So you see this flash of frost just crash into the gibbering mouther, and it sizzles and pops as she casts the spell, and it kind of like blisters its outward skin or whatever that stuff is, plasma, And you guys notice this floor is very slick with blood and dried up, kind of an irony smell. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Zayla, you're good to go.
Yep. Do I have to make a save for the whatever thing that's?
Nope. It just kind of threw you off your game for that first round. You still have this feeling of kind of dread, though. You can hear these things go.
All right. She's going to use a crown of madness. Yeah, that's good enough. She's going to use crown of madness on the one closest to her.
You can't because they're not humanoid.
Oh, you're right. I forgot.
Sorry, that's like one of my favorite spells, and it's one I have too. So that's why I know.
She'll just cast a fairy fire then, and just clip the outside of the gibbering mouth, number 2.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All done?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to cast guidance.
Okay.
Into Kilgrave.
Okay.
And I want to cast my spiritual weapon as a bonus.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, that's not what I want. And I'm going to place it
okay
right here, and it's going to attack the Mouther 1.
Okay. So this, all of a sudden, this hammer-like, ethereal-looking weapon appears out of midair, and it slams down on that gibbering mouther to great effect. Mr. Knack.
Well, it looks like everyone else is through. I'm gonna try to squeeze through.
Okay. All right. You're kind of slipping and sliding on old blood and some new blood. You're not sure. So you're having a difficult time getting through there.
Oh, this is as slippery as a halfling. Premier, a little bit of help. Could I try again during this turn, or is that something I'd have to wait another turn for?
You're gonna wait.